is an example of a well-loved quilt, as Joanne says. And I am not a quilter, but I love quilts. And so I was a recipient of this quilt. This quilt was a gift to me from my grandmother, a shower gift. And so my grandmother was Vera Bachelor, and she had 28 grandchildren, and she made a quilt for 26 of her 28 grandchildren. Unfortunately, she passed away, so the last two grandchildren to receive quilts did not receive a handmade quilt from her. However, my grandfather did go out and honor the tradition of receiving a quilt, and he bought 2 quilts for the last 2 grandchildren. This pattern, my mother figures it would have been termed as churn dash. So there's churn dash, there's hole in the barn door, and there's the monkey wrench. But my mother figured that my grandmother would call this churn dash. And so you can see by this quilt that, as I said, it needs a bit of repair. And so maybe somebody will take pity on me and do that. One of my aunts told me that she recognized this material here, that she believes she made a dress or a skirt from this material. So my grandmother would have used pieces of material. It's not like these days when you go out and you spend $200 on special materials. She used a lot of scraps, did buy some. The backing is just a pale pink here, so she would have gone out and purchased that. One of my aunts did say, as you can see, she was a little more frugal with the material. There is a batting in this quilt, although sometimes she did just put a flannelette sheet instead of the batting in the quilts. And so once she got it together, she'd invite neighbors and ladies, I'm sure many of you can sort of identify with that, or to quilt, and sometimes her daughters would help her as well. So I think that's my, I love this quilt because my grandmother gave it to me.